brought to you by Bethel School of Technology. Learn more at betheltech.net/Ken Coleman. I think this is funny. It's kind of funny. It's kind of sad. This is the headline. 7 in 10 recent job seekers cheated during the hiring process. The data is way worse than this, so hang on. This is a bit of a ride. And there's a couple of takeaways. Let me first set the scene. In other words, I don't know if you paid attention to this, Alex or Kelly, but we are a cheating bunch of fools, us Americans. I mean, look, the data, I'm about ready to unveil this, but the takeaway is we're a bunch of cheaters. And here's the second takeaway that's going to surprise Alex. I haven't told him because he may not have let me do it, but I'm going to do it anyway because he's in there and I'm here. I started reviewing this data and I was trying to get irritated and I was trying to get irritated and I was trying to get irritated and I couldn't get irritated. I couldn't get irritated. And I am not saying that it is okay to be a cheater. However, controversial take coming. If you are asked to do something that is worthless or irrelevant, do you get a pass? Do you get a pass from effort when someone's asking you to do something that's just a complete waste of time? I don't know the answer. I'm not taking a position yet. All I'm saying is I couldn't get irritated. Now, before I go any further on this, I just have a hunch here. And I could be wrong. So Kelly, the associate producer, I'm putting you on the spot because she has a very strong opinion. She's very sassy. The thing about Alex, the producer, is he has a very strong opinion, but he's not sassy. So he's just not as fun to talk to sometimes. All right. So Kelly, are you a rule follower?
My rule of thumb is ask for forgiveness instead of permission.
So you're not a rule follower?
No.
At all. Okay.
No.
So this is exciting. I wasn't sure because she's very gifted with details. And so I was wondering if she was a rule follower. You surprised me with that response. I thought I was going to get yes. So stand by and please pay attention because I might come for another opinion. She represents the female millennial opinion. Are you Gen Z?
I am a millennial. Thank you.
Millennial. I thought you were. But see, that's a compliment. See?
No, I received it. Thank you.
Okay, here we go. Into the data. We already told you 7 in 10 job seekers cheated or lied during the hiring process. But there's several different parts of the hiring process. This is interesting. So we'll go through this quickly. Here we go. 22% cheated on a work assessment. This was in the hiring process. They were asked to take some type of an assessment, and they cheated. 15% cheated on a phone interview, 13% during an in-person interview, and 11% in a video interview. Now, I ask you, how do you cheat in an in-person interview? Is that the old school write on your hand deal? I don't know. They don't tell us. Now, this is where it gets dicey. 1 in 2 gave a false reference, and 22% lied on their resume. Now, quick pause here. I don't know why people are still lying on their resume. There's been so many public falls, like college football coaches. The one that sticks out to me was the guy, George O'Leary. Bob, you'll remember this. He was the coach at Georgia Tech. He gets to the Notre Dame job. We're talking about a top 5 job in all of college football from a prestige standpoint, at least back then anyway. And he lied on his resume and they fired him. I don't understand. You know, people are losing their jobs, very public jobs, because they lied on their resume. People are still doing it. And then the half of all people gave a false reference. That means you are playing poker. You might as well be playing roulette. Black, please. I mean, if they're going to call the reference and it's a false reference, you're screwed. I don't understand it. I got to tell you, it's not that I'm irritated from a moral standpoint. I can't even get that far. I want to throw up in my mouth right now. I'm so nervous for these people. All right. Kelly, stay tuned. I gotta get your opinion here in a second. All right. 29%, only 29% of people said they've never cheated during the hiring process. So, wow, it's time for the apocalypse to come get us out of here. We're so unethical. Holy moly. Now, listen to this. Of the recent job seekers, the 22% who said they cheated on online assessments, and this was the point I made at the start of the show, 71% Googled answers, 37% utilized ChatGPT, and 33% sought out assistance from others. Among those who got external help, the most common sources were friends, followed by significant others. Now, why are people cheating? This is why. 62% are anxious about the just test itself. 39% think someone else can do it better. 32% don't even know how to complete the assessment. And 19% are just lazy. They're like, I don't know how to do this. All right? So, here's the question, Kelly. It sounds like these are just gates that companies are making people go through. I can't get a good grip on that it's kind of it's not life and death stuff here. So the question is, Kelly, do you understand? Because I'm not going to put you in a position where you're going to prove it. Do you understand why some of these people, based on those factors, they're anxious about the test, they think someone else can do it better than them, they don't even know how to do it, or they're just lazy? What say you?
As someone who's had really bad test anxiety my whole life.
Okay, good perspective here.
I get it to a degree.
To a degree. All right. Now, let me ask you this. If this is not a real do or die thing, like the job applicant knows, this is just a thing. This isn't like going to prevent me from doing my job. Is it something that we should all be irritated by? Or should we say, why are we making people do these tests? What say you, Kelly? Should we be irritated by this?
I don't think so, if it's not part of like their main role.
All right. Now, I should put a giant asterisk out there that I know she agrees with me on. If you're learning how to fly a rocket, they don't make people do these kinds of things. It's a whole different ballgame. So the stuff we're talking about here, folks, is not life and death stuff. All right. So here's the deal. Now, this is interesting. What happened to the cheaters? Anybody want to know? I wanted to know. I couldn't get to the article, the end of the article fast enough. By the way, I forgot to mention 1 in 5 lied on the resume. Remember we were talking about they gave a false reference? Some people are just straight up making stuff up on their resume. No surprise there, I guess. But here's what happened. 3 in 10 cheaters actually faced consequences. 31% reported facing professional consequences, including the job offer was rescinded. 17% said the job offer was taken away from them. 13 got reprimanded, and 11% got fired. However, are you ready for this? 80% of recent job seekers who cheated got the job. And nobody's the wiser. Except for you fine people who listen and watch this show. We don't know who they are. I hope it wasn't Kelly. I'll talk to her about that during the commercial break. Whew. I don't think you should lie or cheat. Just do the thing and win. This is the Ken Coleman Show. Launch your tech career today at betheltech.net/Ken Coleman.